Hello. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream, and today we're going to be making some gaming room using low poly isometric rendering and see how that goes. So I have a few reference images from Google and make sure that my audio is good. I think it is. Yeah, I guess we can get right into it. And yeah, let's get started. Hope your days have been good because I have not streamed in a while, but let me just set up everything here. Bring my reference images. I want to set up my reference image. Okay, so yeah, before we get into it, let me first do a quick promo here for some add-ons that I would recommend for you guys to get if you are in market for add-ons. Hello Ukash Live FF, how are you doing? How are you, brother? Yeah, so yeah, if you are in market, if you are using Blender, obviously you might need some add-ons to speed up your workflow. This is Extreme PBR Nexus, which is an add-on that comes packed with a lot of materials, PBR materials that you can use with Blender. You can see you have water, grass. It has a lot of custom shaders that you can tweak. You can see here, you can use it to mix different materials. You can do paint, you can do bump maps. It just comes with a lot of materials for you to use. So if you want to check it out, a link is going to be provided in the description. Bro, I just want to be like you. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. So then the other add-on I would like to promote is Human Generator. This is an add-on that lets you generate humans of 3D characters, rigged, posed, and clothed at the same time, textured and everything. So if you're in market, if you want to get characters, 3D characters for your projects, this is the add-on for you. The last add-on I want to promote is HDRI Maker. As you know, HDRI images can make or break your scene. So with a package like this, with an add-on like this, that comes packed with a lot, almost 400 HDRIs, you will never need a different add-on for something like this. So yeah, it allows you to add ground maps and textures, blend the ground surfaces onto the textures. You can see how the demo looks here. It looks massively amazing. You can even dig. It's just amazing. So yeah, if you are in market for this, the link is in the description. Let's get into today's project. But due to studies, I'm unable to do so. Well, you can finish your studies and then try it. Hello, Anav Satish, how are you? Yeah, so let's get started and work on a low poly gaming room. First thing I'm going to do is just set up. Let me also bring up my. Let me bring up the image editor. Just drop in a few reference images. No, I think I know. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that the camera is orthographic instead of perspective. So I'll change this to orthographic. So it's a 2D, almost a 2D surface. And let me use a square aspect ratio. So 1920 by 1920, like so. Let's start with the room like that. And I think I'm going to split this. Let me go to my other view, actually, layout. This view here. So I'm going to extrude these walls like so. And let me bring my camera here, pull it. Yeah, so if you want to zoom out, you can see moving the camera back doesn't work, especially if you are using the orthographic. So you need to use the scale feature here to scale this down. And let me use cycles for this. Switch to cycles. Let me turn on my shortcuts. Shortcuts. Quick. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to use my quick functions add-on to add thickness with a solidify modifier. Just like that. Even thickness like that. And I think we can turn on, let me use GPU and turn on viewport denoising. And another thing I want to do is have the background lit as well. Let me start like that. I think I can add a light to light up the environment just a bit. Now this material, let me see if I give it an emissive material. Yeah, it won't be able to catch any shadows which I want. Nothing is clear, but very interesting. When will the AI get to live translation? Oh, sorry, you mean you don't understand English? That's very unfortunate. But you can learn, because English is the most dominant language, so it's very important to learn it, or you're going to struggle a bit when it comes to communicating with internationally, at least, I think. Yeah, so let's see, what do we add in our gaming room? I think the walls are too thick, so let me make them a bit smaller. I want to have an area light in the back here. I'll call it gaming room, like so. Okay. Now I think we can start with adding some RGB lights on the walls. Maybe even texture the surface here. So let me select this surface. Let me first pause the rendering for a bit. Go to Eevee. Create a new material. I'll import an image texture, resources. Let me look for wood. Let's use a wooden floor. Let me start with this image. Connect this to the base color, and I think I can also use it as the roughness. And by the way, I'm using the quick functions add-on to make these connections faster, and I'm also added a bump map there. The link is in the chat if you want to get the add-on. Let me use object mapping. Let me first add some mapping here. Select this, add mapping. We want to use object mapping. Actually, it doesn't matter because the walls are going to be a different material. So I think I'm going to need is just, I don't think I need the bump map. So let's just increase the scale of the texture map here. And I also want to get another image map. This is Blender 2.93. No. This is Blender 3. Let me grab a grunge map. I think something like this. I will blend it. Let me first see how this looks. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe just scale it down a bit so we have enough resolution. Something like there. Mix the two, Ctrl Shift like that. And then let's see. Yeah, so this will break up the roughness a bit, which is what I want. Okay, so something like that. And if you want to control the overall color, let me first increase, just have this non-tile too much, something like that. So if I want to adjust the color of this, I'll just add a color mix RGB node here. What's the difference in object and displacement mapping? Huh? What's the difference in object and displacement mapping? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Because, yeah, I'm not really sure I'm understanding what you mean. Yeah, so if we want to make this a different color, we can easily adjust it with this. Yeah, so I can give it that color, but I want it to be a bit darker, so I'll add another mix node and just use a value blending mode, and that should mean I can control how dark this is using this here. Yeah, so I can have those look somewhat like that. And I also don't want the roughness to overpower everything else too much. Like that. Let's see how this looks in cycles. A bit too dark. And I think that's because we don't have any lights going on. So let's add let's add a light strip here. Or there is these light strips I saw on Amazon. They're like in a Y shape. So let's design those. So it has a stand, a very, very thin stand, like that, and it's usually placed in the corner. Now this is yeah, I saw it on Amazon. Let me see if I can show it. RGB, it's RGB light. Yeah, this light here looks really amazing, and you see it has this gradient from purple, red, orangish, and then yellow. That's done. Let's make that. Yeah, as I said, this is Blender 3. Yeah, Sarush. What's the tell me, how can I use Blender? You can watch a few tutorials and learn from there. Yeah, so this is extruded like this, and then we have this is the piece that emits the light. So if you don't know what we're doing, we're making a gaming room, but we want to add this light. So let's make a shader. First, make a shader for this. I'll create what kind of video card? You can use exclamation mark specs to see what kind of specs I'm using. I'm too risky for this. But you can still learn a few things because this is actually basics. Yeah, so let's create a material. I want to use a noise texture and blend it with I use it for the roughness, I think. So I'll connect this to the roughness, make this dark, Now let me first preview how this noise looks. Scale it up, and I think we can use object mapping. Hey, PNM Manam Perry, thank you. Okay, now let's look at this. Looks okay. We can just bump up the noise, make it a bit darker, and add a mix RGB color, mix RGB, and let's see what do I want. Yeah, I want to make it a bit darker, and I'm going to add a bevel to this as well. So add a bevel, reduce, yeah, something like that. And now we can start working on yeah, giving this that gradient light. So it goes from, as I said, it goes from pinkish, sorry, purple. It's basically a rainbow. So to do that, let me first isolate. Should I isolate this? Yeah, I think we just need to select this face and this face, assign it to a new material like that. And this material is going to be an emitter, so shader is going to be an, yeah, shift Q emission. Let me use this. So we want a gradient, a top down gradient. So to make this easier for you to see, I'm going to add a plane that is the same, basically the same height as this. Assign them the same material, just so you can see what we're doing. And then what I'm going to do is grab a separate, let me see, shift Q. I want to get texture coordinates. Shift Q, texture code. Shift. I want to get is it under vector? I think it's under, let me see, input texture coordinates. I want to get the object input and separate them. So I'm going to use my add-on. Shift Q, separate XYZ node. So I'll connect the generated, I'll connect the object to the vector so that I can separate the Z component. Actually, I think I need to apply rotation on this, Yeah, the Z component. You can see now we have a gradient that goes from bottom to top. And we can use a convert math node here, a convert vector math, a scale, use the scale operation just to scale up the gradient. But I also want to move this down a bit. So I'll add a convert math node here and just move this gradient down a bit. Then add a color ramp so you can start colorizing this. So this here, let me see if I can actually get that image. I can't. Yeah. So it's pink something. So let's use this as the gradient. I'll just add a few nodes in here. Hey Smith, thank you. So I think even just using two nodes, let me see. So this would be on the opposite side like this, and in here we can mix in other nodes. So I think, let me see what gradient. So there is a lot of orange at the bottom, so let's add that, or yellow. Now we can use B-spline. So that's going to be our gradient. And this can be fed into the color as you. Yeah, sorry, my internet kind of went off a bit. Can you make a living with a small YouTube channel? Yeah, I think you can. My channel is also not that big, so yeah, I'm not making a lot from YouTube, but I guess it depends on your cost of living. So if it's not too high, then yeah, it may be. Doesn't seem to spread the light as I hoped. So we can do a few tricks here. Let me first get back the image we were trying to replicate. So it's not spreading the light as I wanted. So what I can do is, let me first pause this for a second. Come back to this strip here. We can spread these faces a bit. So just actually let me isolate them for a bit. Hit Y and then scale them a bit. That should make the faces larger, which would make the light more softer. I think I might need to scale up the gradient a bit, maybe remove, yeah, something like that. That's a good start. Yo, thank you for subscribing, Sinis. Sorry if I butchered your name. Hey, Ganja Planter, how are you? Glad to see you. Okay, now let's work on, also let's add a light strip down here. I'll just grab a plane, because our room right now lacks a lot of light, so just lacks enough light. Add a strip here, a light strip. Give this a new material. Should be emissive shader emission. Now let me try speeding up a bit. See, that's a lot of light. And our walls are too dark, so let me grab this wall, create a new material, assign to this. So this can use a value of 1. And I'm also going to grab an area light. I just make it the size of the room. So our room can now start looking a bit brighter like that. And let me also make the floor a bit lighter. And scale down the details of the floor. Or scale up the texture, the floor texture. Something like that. let's start working on interesting things. Let's add a curved monitor, or let's start with a desk and then a curved monitor. So I'll create one of those. Let me first grab this. Desks. I think we have a black material that we could use here. See. So this is going to be our table. We can give it a bevel. The bevel like this. And we want this light also to have some RGB lights in the back. Maybe this can be red RGB. So something like that. Let's make just going to give it really thick legs. Actually, I want this to be like one of those tables that change heights. I think this is too thick, and they usually they're usually shaped somewhat like this. So their heights this one has adjustable height. Self-adjusting like that. Now let's see how this looks. Just give it some RGB light like that. Yeah, something like this. I think I'm also going to shrink this further, and we can add a color hue and saturation just to increase on the saturation of this light. Like that. Now with the table done, we can add a curved monitor here, which should be very easy to do. Let me show you how to make that very quickly. So you just add a plane like this, apply the scale, apply the rotation, add a loop in the middle, push the edge out like that, so that is kind of a V like that. Now to make it actually curved, you just use Ctrl B to bevel the curve